Hi there. I'm recording this using YouTube's service for recording a video because for some reason I'm having a problem uploading the other way. I was asked by Al M. And a number of other brothers and sisters in ATU 757 to read the following article, which comes from WordPress called MaxFax Portland Light Rail. Empower, trust, stand behind. It was years ago when I first heard those words from a manager at Rail. I don't think he's there anymore. Who had said that he guiding principles for managing operators. For whatever reason, the ideas resonated with me and it stuck with me. And when I look at a lot of what's been going on at TriMet, I find that phrase echoing in my head. Empower, trust, stand behind. It implies that managers will give their frontline workers what they need to do their jobs and do them well, and believe that these workers are capable of doing those jobs. For the frontline workers, it implies that the people above you will have your back. It implies respect, which has to be mutual or it isn't there at all. It implies things that I wish I saw more of at TriMet, don't we all? This has been kicking around in my head since the budget tool was released, in part, as previously mentioned, because I thought that was a poor representation of possible options to saving money, but more than all the sniping little comments in there, taking shots at the union, made me feel very uncomfortable. Personally, I think it's grossly unprofessional for an official TriMet release. It's not empowering, it doesn't show trust, and it certainly isn't standing behind union workers. My book, workers of any kind. My note. So, here we go. Here's the release. Why not just cut pay and benefits for employees like everyone else has? We're in our 4th year of salary freezes for administrative non-union employees, and non-union employees are paying more for their health benefits. We have also eliminated some 200 positions during the recession. We continue to look for more internal efficiencies. Keep in mind that most TriMet employees, 87%, are members of a transit union, ATU 757. We cannot unilaterally make changes to wages and benefits for union employees, but instead must bargain with the union or engage in all-or-nothing interest arbitration. Well, they don't want to bargain with us. TriMet's contract with ATU expired in 2009, and union leadership has refused to consider reasonable changes to wage increases and benefits that would bring them more in line with other transit government workers. ATU has been successful in its legal maneuvers to delay or exclude arbitration on TriMet's cost-saving wage and benefits proposals. Yeah, race to the bottom, TriMet, McFartlane, Shelley, Hayden, board of directors. Accusing the union of refusing to be reasonable. That's the present. Acknowledging that TriMet broke the law, curiously absent. Well, I'm not sure the exact percentage of how many of the 13% of management, that's the non-union. Not all non-union workers are in managerial positions, despite Neil's tweet saying 13% is management. No, I don't think that. There's only one person that I know of, last I heard, that was union in the mailroom. TriMet and ATU 757 contract expired in 2009, so we've been working without a contract for over 3 years now. However, there are still laws that govern collective bargaining even when a contract is expired, and the union filed 2 unfair labor practices, ULPs, against TriMet, saying that they were in violation of those laws. One of them was because TriMet made a final offer away from the bargaining table, and one for suspending cost of living payments and refusing to cover health insurance premiums in violation of Oregon state law. Why aren't they in jail? They broke the law. It's like if you were, you got a Dewey and you were pulled over, or you robbed somebody, or whatever. Send them to jail. Let them do a little time, Send them to Sheridan. Oh, it's a state violation. Okay. Anyway, as to the first of the ULPs, unfair labor practice, the Employee Review Board agreed that TriMet was in violation. In other words, TriMet did not bargain in good faith by making those changes to the final offer, and the ERB ordered TriMet to cease violation of the law. TriMet appealed. They lost. The second outcome of another ULP is still pending. ATU won't strike because it is not allowed under law. Instead, the contract will be settled via binding arbitration, and arbitration can't move forward until the unfair labor practices are resolved. In the meantime, official TriMet releases have been painting the union as the main threat to the transportation service that the poor, vulnerable non-union workers want oh so desperately to provide. I feel like there's a big bad wolf-style political cartoon lurking here. Unfortunately, I have all the artistic talent of a dead hamster, so I won't draw it for you. But here's the sort of thing that we mean. This is a quote from TriMet. We continue to looking for ways to do more with less, although a series of recent administrative cuts leaves few options remaining. Further reductions to non-union staff and salaries threaten our ability to deliver the high-quality service our region deserves and demands. Cuts to non-union staff salaries will threaten services? Really? Let's see. The mechanics keep everything in working order. They're union. Supervisors and fair inspectors enforcing the rules. They're union. The dispatchers and controllers keeping everything running. Union. The cleaners removing other people's trash from the vehicles. Union. Funny, kind of looks like making cuts to the union workers have a bigger impact on service than non-union cuts, since those job categories are more closely tied to providing service than most. For example, can you explain how the recently posted public arts coordinator? What the does that have to do with transportation? Non-union, $56,000 a year, not counting benefits, directly contributes to service. Well, because of a 2007 change in the law, we cannot unilaterally implement our final offer to the union. Instead, we must engage in an all-or-nothing interest arbitration, a forum in which it is extremely difficult to make significant changes no matter how out of line union wages and benefits are. Let me remind you, TriMet management, McFarlane, Shelley, Hayden, y'all agreed to that. Out of line? Don't you think that's a bit inflammatory language? Let me see. On average, as an operator, with some overtime, about $48,000 I think is what I made as a full-timer, good year, when I was able to work. The general manager at $215,000 a year is out of line at a time when everything is on the table to be cut. It's the worst recession since the Great Depression, blah, blah, blah. And so I humbly offer that I, and not just the author, but I, and I am not joking about this, will do the job of general manager for $20,000 a year. Let me make it $24,000 because that will make me rich, since poverty level for a family of 4 is $24,000 a year. So, I've seen in the Oregonian elsewhere that they argue that there's no reason someone without a college degree should be able to make $50,000 a year and up, plus benefits for driving a bus in there. Well, you know, I think what we should do is go back to serfdom, right? Screw the Oregonian and their editorial board. A bunch of right-wingers. Extremists, might I add. Well, you know what? There's always someone desperate and willing to take your job for less than you're making, too. I'm not desperate. I will do it for 24 grand. Of course, TriMet hasn't done much to say positive things about the union in the media, like the recent incident on a 57 where a driver asked the woman with the fussy child to leave. McFarlane told the Portland Tribune that he's putting the union on notice. Whoa! Do you hear that noise? That's my knees knocking, McFarlane. You want to put me on notice? Yo, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. The boy from Brooklyn will show you about what it means to call me out. What's with this on notice? It makes it sound like it's a common occurrence, and it's not. Another attack on the union, another attack on the workers. Empower, trust, stand behind. Keep repeating that. Then the sniping. Like when you look at TriMet's page and you see that TriMet's future depends on a sustainable labor contract. It's the only thing that it depends on? Remember one of the things I posted earlier, and I said that TriMet is in the hole $17 million. Blame it on the worker, and they should make less, so that I, McFarlane, can make $215,000 a year while you're starving and on food stamps like an animal. That animal thing comes from some right-wing moron in the Midwest. So, union leadership from TriMet has refused to make the modest changes we proposed. And they have used legal maneuvering They broke the law. We're legal maneuvering. Sounds like someone from the Rush Limbaugh show wrote this. As a result, we are facing an initial $5 to $10 million shortfall in next year's budget. On this page, we provide, go to TriMet.org, facts, source documents, and our perspective on TriMet's efforts to reach a financially sustainable agreement with ATU 757. Earlier I wrote, TriMet's in the hole $17 million, blame it on the workers. Okay, let's go to West Side Express Service, West, that goes from Wilsonville to Beaverton. Nice. 3 cars, 1 trailer. $17+ million. You piss me on the McFart face. You really do. Legal maneuvering. Legal, does that mean filing an unfair labor practice, which is lawful, as is our right as a union, when TriMet violates collective bargaining law? So let's see, this is like saying, you know, your phone bill's too high. I think I'm only going to pay $20 a month. As a matter of fact, there's a proposal in Arizona that if you don't like something, you know, some law or whatever it is, then take a large tax deduction. So, the spinners, Mary Kretsch, etc., are trying to put us, workers, as being the evil ones. But if by news, I mean editorial opinions, you want a news article about this? Try the Oregonians. TriMet broke state labor laws and contract dispute with union. Oregon board rules. Oh, why didn't TriMet publish that? Those who control the press control freedom in the press. So, and what's the point? The public isn't involved in union negotiations at all. That's between 757 and TriMet. Though in a recent KGW, enemy of TriMet, McFarland made an appearance. Budget talks started around 11:38, union talk around 12:12, no strike status discussed. It sounds like he's got an interest in changing to no strike. As a matter of fact, I think so too, because I think we should go out on strike and it'll all be over in 3 hours. It would not hurt the public. Empower, trust, stand behind. Now from TriMet. We propose that union employees participate in the same health care as the non-union employees, and we ask the union to limit cost of living wage increases. In other words, you. I want it the other way. I want the non-union people, and that's everybody, not just at TriMet, to have the same thing that I have. That's what I want. That's what I want. Not a race to the bottom, McFart face, but a race to the top. You at $215,000 a year plus benefits? How much is your benefits package worth? Huh? Big mouth. Oh, you won't bring union workers in line with non-union workers? Well, let's take it to its logic and conclusion. Let's see. About 30% of our buses have no air conditioning. So to help save money, let's disable the AC in about 30% of TriMet offices. Okay. I don't know, like at the top floor of Center Street, although I heard that that's going to become dispatch. So to the newly hired executive director of HR, sorry, my friend, you'll probably get stuck. Well, Colleen's gone with no air conditioning. Good thing Oregon summers are more or less mild. But don't worry, every hour or so you'll be allowed to get up and drink some ice water, use the bathroom, as long as you don't take more than 10 minutes. Now, state labor law, sorry, got to correct you. For every 4 hours, you get a 10-minute break. By the way, everyone will be on scheduled bathroom times, just to let you know. Then in winter on certain days, the audio will be played at 90 decibels for the duration of your workday. I'll skip over that because I don't feel like reading that. Let's see. What else? You'll have to figure out some way to expose the office workers to diesel fumes, urine, vomit, and other biohazards that the frontline workers encounter. Split shifts, night work, instead of a cushy 8 to 5 Monday through Friday schedule. Offices that, like many buses, leak rainwater on you for the duration of your shift. Broken seats that you can't get out of that cause back and leg injuries. That would be even. That'd be about square. Now, is this a really dumb idea? Of course. It's logical absurdity, called a syllogism. Not a logical conclusion. Union and non-union workers at TriMet do different jobs to make the whole system work, and they get compensated for those jobs differently. And that's okay, too. That's the key point. Look, not to keep bringing up a topic just to be depressing, but it's the non-union workers who are dying every few months from illnesses that have a documented history of high occurrence in public transportation workers. But hey, what do we know? It seems strange that this $12 to $17 million shortfall was announced last year, not very long after McFarlane mentioned an improving economy and the ability to bring back fair inspectors. As a matter of fact, years ago, before the bubble burst, when it was just starting to tear, I was at a board of directors meeting when one of the 3 economists that TriMet had hired at the time and were in the employ of said that things will be turning around shortly and everything will be better. And I looked at that person and asked them if they were crazy and what drugs were they doing. Any fool could see what was about to happen. Well, many runners are already paying for health coverage for their spouses and families, and I've talked with other operators who are not necessarily well to that. But see, there's not anything to suggest what would happen. Because of Portland's Milwaukee Light Rail project, we are already planning to borrow $40 million against future operations budget, for which there is no federal funding, folks. Keep that in mind. And last year, a request was put before the TriMet board for permission to borrow an additional $20 million if needed. So it's $20 million, and they still have to pay that $17 million for those 3 rail cars, huh? So assume for the sake of argument that the union says, yeah, okay, we'll cover 50% of health costs. Is that even going to matter? This time next year, the year after, a year after that, we're going to be in the same boat, but probably looking at a bigger hole in the budget. Instead of 17, maybe 40 to 60 million to do that orange line. From TriMet, the region will gain 7.3 miles max extension with more cost-effective service, while TriMet contributes less than 5% of the construction cost. To date, no TriMet funds have been spent on construction. Well, that's a little past the time now because funding has started. So what they're saying is we're broke right now, but that's okay. I put this expensive purchase on my credit card so that I don't have to worry about it. Well, there's going to come a point when we do need to start paying for it. And sure, maybe TriMet share of the project is only 5% of the total cost. But hey now, 5% of $1.5 billion is still 75 mil. Or perhaps 50 mil, as Neil said in his Twitter chat. Well, let's see some of the things that TriMet has. I remember a time when a few people ran the company. When I came, there was one administrative person for every 6 workers. So now we have things such as a coordinator for public art and architecture paying between $44,900 and $56,200 a year. A project control manager, $82 to $102. Senior estimator, $69 to $86 grand. These are all in thousands. Director of real property, $89 to $111,000. And it goes on and on. If they're so broke, why are they going to hire these people at mega? You see that? Here's one, $79,000 a year. They pay $72,000 a year to have someone point people to the right train when they're at the Rose Quarter Transit Center. Can't they read the goddamn signs?